Hi, everybody. It is 7 o'clock on Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. And, yeah, it's, please remember I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient. Everything is for entertainment purposes only. Everything's down in the box. Hey, Lashana Tova, everybody. It's 5785. And the year's already started off very explosive, and I'll get more on that a little bit. Um, yeah, I noticed some stuff pertaining to Keir Starmer in the UK. Oh gosh, yeah. Uh-huh. Well, yeah, a lot of bigwigs get freebies. Well, now he's having to cough up for all the shit that he's been handed. Yeah, the Taylor Swift tickets, the box seats to different sporting events, the designer wardrobe for his wife. Yeah, so Keir's going to have to cough up and pay for all that stuff. And yeah, we want to send congratulations out to Princess Beatrice and her husband, Count Edo. And yeah, baby number 2 is on the way for her, baby number 3 for Edo. And it's, hey, Sarah and Andy have already put out that they're super excited about that. Now, the other thing about the Royals, um, now I watched Mystical Fortunes before I start doing this, and she mentioned that Henry would have someone step in, like a older paternal figure. Well, when I was watching it, I was getting the impressions that it's going to be the Duke of Kent is going to request Henry to show up for a meeting. Remember, the Duke of Kent is right now the oldest family member. The Duke of Kent was very close to QE2 and Philip and the Queen Mother. So if anybody's going to, he's the oldest senior male member of the family. So Henry is going to have to sit there and take it, because the Duke of Kent is going to set him straight. And he will also have the Duke of Gloucester right there backing him up. The 2 other royal dukes. And they're going to set Henry straight. So, that's what I'm getting, that's what's going to come down the pike for little Henry. And it'll be, we won't know exactly what is said, but probably through one of the Gloucester kids, they will say, yeah, my dad went with our cousin to talk, what they were there talking to Henry. It'll be leaked, but very quietly. Now, like I've been saying, we're going to be in for wild ass weather. Something that's going on that people haven't, that's very little noise is being made out of. But right now, coming up from the southwest, Taiwan is getting hammered by Typhoon Krathon. Krathon? It's Krathon. Well, the Big Red Sea most likely is also going to take advantage of this and use their underwater vessels to fire some projectiles into Taiwan from underneath the water. And so there'll be some earth rattling, but they're going to blame it on the typhoon. But that's the Big Red Sea is going to be pulling that stuff. Now, I've been kind of bombarded with people about the stuff here in the States, and basically people asking about, we can't get a hold of our family members. Well, I did some digging around and I've talked to a few people, and there are several recreational pilots that have been going down into the areas, or getting as close by as possible to the areas that have been devastated by Helene. And these guys are coming in with their small aircraft, fixed wing aircraft, and their own helicopters, their own choppers. And they're asking for the local fire departments and law enforcement, hey, where can we land safely to bring in supplies and help with search and rescue? It's funny, the people that are volunteering and spending their own dime to bring in supplies, the lovely, they've got to be on the payroll of Barry. Fire marshals and sheriffs are denying these volunteers access to land the choppers or a clear stretch of highway for small planes to come in, roadway to come in and out. But it's ironic. Yesterday they took JoJo up in a chopper to fly around. Cammy Poop went down to Georgia. And now they're making a big deal that they're giving everybody, $750. Well, people have been stuck for, 6 days now without power and devastation. And we're going into day 3 of this dock worker longshoreman strike. Okay, we know that Barry Sotero's running the government, which means Barry had advanced knowledge of this weather, of Helene and its storm track. Barry knew how extreme he had a really good guesstimate on how extreme the devastation would be. But Barry also knew that as a 12:01 Tuesday morning, October 1st, the longshoremen, the dock workers, were going to go out on strike on the eastern seaboard through the Gulf of Mexico. Barry intentionally has allowed this strike to happen because what comes in on those cargo ships, those freighters, pharmaceuticals, medicine, auto supplies, aftermarket auto parts. How many cars, how many vehicles have been flooded out from the storm? How many tires have been slashed on trucks driving in supplies? They'll stop at a truck stop. The guys wait for their mandatory 8 hours off. They wake up, all their tires are slashed. We're going to have food shortages and building supplies, lumber, pipes, electrical wire. Those are all going to be stuck holding out. These ships, cargo ships filled with the needed supplies, are going to be stuck in harbors waiting. This is a planned operation by Barry Sotero and his buddies. Because the areas that are hit the worst are basically people who vote Republican. They're Trump supporters. So Barry and his bastard band of brothers, they're punishing anyone who supports Donald. They're punishing those who support Donald Trump. Oh yeah, they're giving people $750, but that's on plastic. Uh, if you don't have any power, you have no internet connections. You can't go. It's money in limbo that nobody can spend. That's what they're doing. And Barry is refusing to have JoJo sign the Taft-Hartley Act executive order, which would force the dock workers and the longshoremen to go back to work. This is part of a big plan, because those areas are swing state areas, especially Georgia. That's a big block of votes. And they're going to keep those areas as destitute as possible, so the election is really messed up down there. If people, because right now a lot of people have been without power, basically decent food and water for the past 6 days, 7 days. Thank you, Barry Soetoro. Yeah, this is all intentional. Now, I have been in touch. I have family in South Carolina. They're doing okay, but they also know how to prep for storms. But they've been without power. I, through a roundabout way, was informed that there are some other YouTubers down there that have been without power also. And one family we do have to keep in our prayers, Ashley's. Remember Danger Zone? Well, I think I'm gonna have to. We should might have to watch Shams to get a message to her asking her, hey, does she have an alternative contact info to check on Ashley's family, because they're in the area that got hit really hard, and to see if everyone's okay. I mean, I tried sending out a message. I don't know if anything's going to be made of it. But yeah, if anyone has a back door who might know of someone who knows of somebody, yeah, let's check on Ashley's family also. And because, well, something I do know for a fact. Okay, I'm using this as an example. Years ago, it was like either summer of 08 or 07. Where I was living, it was a suburban area, and a big storm blew through here in the Chicago area, and a whole big block, we lost power because of this horrible storm. It just was nasty. And the storm happened like on a Thursday. And the power went down, and there was flooding, and it was just a big, ginormous mess. Well, I did call somebody I know in local county government. I was able to get a hold of them. And I said, hey, do you have an ETA of when my neighborhood might get power restored? And he's like, yeah, hold on. And he got back to me. And he said, now I'm making this call on Friday afternoon. The storm blew through on Thursday. It's Friday afternoon. I'm making the call. And he said, your power is going to be back on Sunday at 3:37 p.m. I'm like, oh, okay. But I wrote it down. Well, here it is. Sunday, the power comes on at 3:30 in the afternoon. 7 minutes earlier than what he told me. But it was flipped back on. Which that tells me federal government knows, has estimated times of power of utility restoration in storm ravaged areas. So I'm asking the YT world. Hey, does somebody's got to know somebody who's got to know somebody who's in government who may have access to the lists of when different areas will have their electricity restored. And if you can get that information, please put it down in the comments, because people need to know this. I mean, it's bad enough that we're having the volunteer pilots. I mean, the guys who have small aircraft, like little Piper Cubs, and they own their own helicopter, their own choppers. I mean, they're coming in on their own dime, doing search and rescue, delivering supplies. But hey, the peon, local, egotistical, arrogant assholes like sheriffs and fire chiefs are telling these people with good hearts who are coming in, you can't land your private chopper in this area. If you do, you'll be arrested and your aircraft impounded. No, we won't block off this roadway so you can land a small plane to drop off supplies. This is all part of Barry's master plan. Yeah. They're doing this because they want the election disrupted in those areas. Yeah, FEMA's only giving people $750 because the rest of it has gone to the Venezuelan prisoners that have been sent up here and the various members of the Iranian military that are scattered around the United States. There's a big group here in the Chicago area, big group in New York. The largest, where you're going to find the large sections of Iranian military, is wherever you see a large Jewish communities. Chicago has got a big one. New York obviously has a big one. Because they're going to start, I mean, October is a busy month. Today's Rosh Hashanah, then you've got Yom Kippur, and then on the 17th, Sukkot kicks off for like 10 days. And a lot of congregations have great big festival gatherings, or plan them, have planned religious gatherings. And this is when a lot of people come out of a lot of Jews come out of the woodwork. But because of this, Tehran is planning something. So, but yeah, and they're planning. I mean, just look. I mean, the missile strikes coming out of Iran into Israel. I mean, a lot of fireworks are going on in the Middle East. And now they're making rumblings that there's a large division of the Iranian army in Jordan. Well, Tehran has forgotten something. King Abdullah, he's really good friends with the British royal family. Wasn't it last summer, 23, that you had William, Catherine, Beatrice, Eugenie, and their spouses? They were all in Amman for a big royal wedding. Yeah. If the dirtballs start going after Jordan, that's when England's going to come in. They're going to try, Tehran's going to try and start shitting Egypt. When that hits, because Egypt controls the Suez Canal, that's when France is going to kick in. Because a lot of the ships that go through the Suez then go straight up the Mediterranean to the docks in Marseille and Nice. Yeah. They're Europe's kind of staying out of it if it's just Israel. But when they start having the other countries, that's when the rest of Europe is going to come in. And Tehran knows not to mess with Saudi, because Saudi will just waste them. Because Saudi, King Saud, the Saud family controls Mecca and Medina, the two most holy cities for those extremist assholes who claim to pray 5 times a day, but they're nothing but modern day Adolf henchmen. Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be, things are going to be, it's going to be, every day we're going to be seeing something else coming out of the Middle East. Because that's the Tehran's agenda, to disrupt the month of October of all the Jewish holidays. And of course, Barry prays 5 times a day. He was raised in Indonesia. He's a Muslim. He wants to make life miserable for everybody here in the States also. So Barry's going to wait till the last minute before he pulls out and has JoJo sign that Taft-Hartley Act. And don't be surprised if they stroke JoJo out in Article 25 him, to try and make Cammy Poop look like the good person who will force the dock workers back to work just in the nick of time before Guy Fawkes Day. Yeah, this is the stuff that's just flying in. So, but yeah. But yeah, it's, folks, if somebody knows somebody within government who can give an ETA for power restoration for the Carolinas, Tennessee, Georgia, start putting it into the comments so we can get the information out. If you know a private pilot, a recreational pilot, you know, your small small county airports where the guys, many of them are collecting supplies to fly in, to bring in. See what can be done. And yeah, Barry knew the weather patterns. He could have stopped the dock strike before it happened. But he wanted to make life miserable for everyone who supports Donald Trump. This is treasonous activity that the Democrats are doing to the rest of us. Well, and that's about it for what I have today for you. Please make sure that you're still subscribed. I'm noticing numbers dropping again. If you want to buy me a coffee, that's great. If you want to schedule a private reading, the email's in there in the box also, or you could join the channel. Basically, your membership is breaking up payment for a reading into equal payments across the year. So, just take your pick. If you want a private reading, you can either email me and we do it through Venmo and stuff, or you can join the channel, and that's little payments all 12 months. So, everyone have a good day. I'll have something up for you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.